The Maine People Podcast, available everywhere. Click subscribe so you never miss an episode. Hi, I'm John Shannon. Welcome to the Maine People Podcast, where I spend my time talking to some interesting people I find in the state of Maine. Some may be famous, some not so famous, some with a lot of TikTok followers, and some may just be people off the street. But I guarantee they will all have interesting stories to tell. That's what the Maine People Podcast is all about. Tater Nader is not the name you usually hear when you are introduced to somebody, but that's exactly who this guest is. Welcome to the Maine People Podcast, Tater, or do you want me to call you your real name?
Oh, Tater's fine. Nobody knows my real name.
All right, exactly. Let's go with Tater. You work for the Portland Parks and Recreation Department. You have a huge number of followers on TikTok thanks to your videos. You're not officially a representative of the Portland Parks and Rec Department right now. Let's make that known to everybody, because usually people who work for the city don't spend their work time making balloon animal hats.
No, that was after work.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get to that coming up on the Maine People Podcast. You have, I don't know what made you start making videos on social media on the job, explaining what you do and what's going on for the city of for Department of Parks and Rec for the city of Portland. But you're now almost you're well over 70 for the videos, right? Approaching 75 or 80 at this point?
I think today will be 73, I think. Yeah.
All right. Let's get an example of what one of these looks like.
It's okay. We're on the job. We're here. So we got to fix this, and we got about an hour to do it. Let's go. The kitchen is making a tater report. There it is.
If he comes through and it's a success, you guys got to clap for him, right?
Another crisis averted.
Man, the Tater Report just took off when you started doing videos like this. What do you think makes people love them so much?
I don't know. Seeing an old goofy farmer fixing slides, I guess, is humorous.
Yeah. I mean,
you know, it's funny was my old partner and I, we started making videos years before anybody posted them. And the director, Ethan Hipple, kept telling everybody to post some of them. And there was nobody actually assigned to social media. And, well, the first one that got posted was Kim had taken over that role of social media. And she just said, so in the wintertime, we do the, snow stuff and ice. And she says, well, I need an update on, or a report. She says, I need a report on the snow conditions on the hill. So, well, I'm not a serious guy. So I just slid down the hill with the camera. It was my first day with an iPhone. It's funny because I had a smartphone, and that's when my buddy and I were making videos. And then I went back to a dumb phone for like 2.5 years. So I got this new Apple phone, and, well, let's wreck it the first day we got it. Let's take it for a spin. So she posted it, and then that was it for me. I thought, oh, that was good, you know. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know, it was probably a week later, she wanted ice reports or something, but that was just me drilling in the ice, and she kept prodding me to do something. So we did the second one on the ice on the snow hill, and I guess probably about 4 or 5 of them, she really had to kind of goat me in it, because it was a lot different doing it just for the fun of doing it, and nobody really seeing it but a couple office people that know you. Mm-hmm. And so then it just kind of, after, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them, I decided, oh well, she's going to ask me anyway. So I just started making them. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's funny because they're not all funny. Like today's, there's no humor in it at all.
Today's was about
mulching leaves. So, you know, the city has, you know, because the parks, everything's going to look good. And they just spent, you know, so much time and money removing leaves, like Deer and Oaks Park. I mean, it'll take, you know, a long time.
It's the woods, basically.
Yeah. You're trying to remove, you know, all 50 acres of leaves. And so they're starting to just mulch them in. Well, I'm what they call an AOLCP, which is it's fancy, accredited organic land care professional.
Wow.
And yeah, sounds good, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Sounds real good.
I'd let you cut me open and do heart surgery. That's fancy.
Well, I don't know about that. So
who's your doctor? Dr. Tater Nader, AOLCP.
Dr. Tater. Nobody ever wants to hear that. So I did it today, you know, and the benefits of it. And there's some you just can't really make funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I've kind of got a rule. I really try to keep everything a minute or under. This one goes like, you know, 2.5. So I notice the longer they go, a lot less people watch the whole thing. So I don't know how it'll go. They talked to me about doing a spinoff because I got the farm here, and they wanted to do like a spinoff next year. You know, things that would be helpful for community gardens, pruning tomatoes, things like that. So we're going to try. And again, I don't know, you know, I do the farm videos here. They're not really funny. Well, the ones for the restaurant are funny, but the regular farm ones aren't so funny.
Tater, you got a lot of things going on. I want to give another look at another video because, like you said, people after a couple minutes they start to get bored. So here's another one of your Tater Report videos. This one, I think, a cool inside look at a very iconic piece of Portland history.
So here we go, end of the season already. Boy, the summer's fly by. We've taken in the duck house, we brought in the fountain, and we're going to put it to rest and get ready for ice already.
We'll cut the audio because I want to talk to you a little bit about this. That's not the original duck house from the city of Portland, but this is. I didn't realize how much care goes into taking care of this on an annual basis. Just seeing it getting hauled out of the city, and I also never knew that the fountain at Deer and Oaks Park got removed every year.
Yeah, well, the duck house is over 100 years old. In fact, I rebuilt that, I don't know, I guess 3 years ago, and probably next winter it'll come back into shop to be done again.
Yeah.
And I did my normal Tater upgrades to it, and it's got lights now, solar lights that come on at night. It's kind of cool. And probably nobody knows this except for everybody that watches your show now. Inside the duck house, when I do work on it, I'm using it like a time capsule. So like there'll be, you know, I'll be retired or, you know, whatever. So whoever rebuilds it will take off a board, and it's got the history. And so the last time I had done the duck house, so I list the directors and who's running the show, and then it was the very beginning of the pandemic. So next time I do, probably next winter. So there's a little, now I do that because I do a lot of work, you know, and I always make a time capsule because I think it's so cool. Somebody 20 years from now might take that board and read about the beginning of the pandemic.
Wow, that's amazing. Was I incorrect? Is it the original duck house? There was an older one, right?
So that's the original one. And then for a while that had gotten, it was sold, I think, for $1 to Roger Knight. And
that's why it was up at Smiling Hill Farm.
Yeah, and it was a real bad shape. And they really went to town. They really rebuilt it. They did a real good job. And then I don't know, I'm not sure the story. I know that we had a spin-off duck house, and it wasn't the same. So I don't know if he got sick of it or what it was, but it wound up back with us. And geez, we've had it for quite a while again. So that was originally I forget who built it, and I wish I knew off the top of my head. But it was a dollhouse for somebody's kids.
Wow.
And it was 3-sided. And originally it was 3-sided for us too. But the ducks and animals were ruining it. So we had to, it was before me, but they had put the other side on it.
Tater, you talked about the farm and the restaurant. Fill us in, and the dog. Fill us in on that. And then we'll get back to, I have some more professional questions for you.
So the farm, I gotta stop him. He'll go all night with a squirrel. He sees a squirrel and that's it. Golly.
This is what the Maine People podcast is all about. It's real people, real stories, real life, something that's really happening on the farm. Not sure what's going to happen when Tater comes back.
The way my dad brought me up was always to work hard and to treat people well.
You ready to go for a ride?
We try to keep our goal to make people feel comfortable buying their cars and feel comfortable with the people they're working with.
Nice. Oh, it looks good over here.
So become part of our family. We really mean that. Without question, we're in this together.
We're going to take care of you and treat you like your family anyways.
This looks awesome.
Yankee Ford has so many people willing to help and make this tough time a little bit easier.
Radio207.com only plays original country music from Maine singers, songwriters, and bands. Streaming online and on your smart speaker. Radio207.com is on the air now. Radio207.com. Only Maine, only country music. Your next online event can be perfect thanks to virtualproductionsgroup.com. The Maine People podcast couldn't happen without them, and they can make your remote streaming event absolutely technically perfect. High quality live and pre-recorded productions for corporate events, weddings, tournaments, charities, and more with virtualproductionsgroup.com. Hopefully the dog didn't get something.
He sees a squirrel and he gets all 14-year-old dog that keeps him young. So
suddenly gets some energy.
It does. The farm is, so I grew up in New Gloucester. Well, I didn't grow up, but I spent some time in New Gloucester, and I loved it. And I'd moved out. But anyway, I come back. I'd farmed most of my life. Farming's one of those things, you can't get it out of your blood. Mm-hmm. And so I bought this property, which was an old sawmill, 10 years ago, and thought, well, let's farm. And you couldn't because it was a sawmill. It's all sand and gravel. So I had actually had to haul in, I don't know, 1/8 of an acre worth of loam.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, this is an expensive little rendezvous. But in all honesty, it had started real small. I just hauled in 2 trucks. I had 1 truck hauled in, and I thought that you can't do anything with that. So I'd hauled in another one, and then I'd grown a bunch of summer squash and zucchini. Well, anybody that farms know how that goes. You plant 2 plants and you're overwhelmed. So
everyone at work was tired of me bringing in the summer squash and zucchini all summer long. And I'm like, my garden's like 24 by 24 feet, and the thing just wouldn't stop producing.
Oh, it's crazy. I had brought a bunch to Dutch's restaurant, and I had just met them. I worked in Portland, and I just waved to them. I didn't really know them, and they said, "Well, they own a restaurant," and I said, "Well, I got a lot of extra stuff. Can you do something with it?" So I had given it to them, and that's why it's grown, was because they've wanted more stuff. So they've financed it, and I just grow it. I couldn't have done it. So that's how I got involved with them. And, well, geez, I guess it's been 7 years now with them.
Wow, that's great. And it's great for the restaurant.
Yeah.
You've got the farm to table like that.
Yeah.
So you run a different, you've got a different Instagram, TikTok for stuff you do on the farm. You got a lot of followers just for the Tater Report.
Well, the Instagram is Tater's CSA program. That's the name of that. Because it was just for the farm. The TikTok, I had started that just so that I can edit. And I'm very technologically stupid. I'm horrible at it. And TikTok makes it farmer-proof. I mean, even I can figure it out.
Yeah.
For the most part, there's some, a little bit of, sometimes I use colorful words because it doesn't do quite what I want it to do. But, and so it's a lot easier for the city because they can go into that TikTok and just transfer it to their Instagram and face page.
Right.
So in the face page I've had for a long time, but I really don't use it. It's funny because I hadn't used it for years, and I actually figured out how to log on. I had to remember how to log on because Dave Windsor had gotten hurt, and I couldn't keep up with it. And him and I are friends. And my wife said, well, he needed help to get into his house. So that's why I put that back on. So it's kind of cool that you found me on that.
Yeah. That's how I found you. And Dave Windsor and I have known each other for 30 years. Dave, another former radio morning show host in Portland. I want to ask you, Tater, it's first of all, where'd Tater come from?
So
the name.
19 years ago, I had a little farm up in Durham. And say hi to my wife.
Hello. Welcome to the Maine People Podcast.
So I had a little farm in Durham, and I just started for the city. And, I thought, well, what better way to get in good with everybody but to bring in potatoes? So I brought everybody 50 pounds of potatoes at work there. And
nice.
So that was it. That's what stuck.
That's so Maine. That is so Maine.
So Maine.
Tater, as one of the most interesting people in the city of Portland, if not the southern part of the state, what's your favorite part, since you are a Portland city employee, what's your favorite part of the city to work in?
Oh, Parks and Rec is really is good. Parks and Rec is, I think what makes a difference is that I work with two actual directors, and they really are passionate about it. And that makes a huge difference. So, and it makes a difference because they don't micromanage, which is why the Tater Report started, is they allow you to be creative. And of course, you got to live within the boundaries, but
sure.
They really encourage creativity. And it's not just like give you a great example, not to get mushy or gushy or anything, but this has been a horrible year for me. Personal life, I lost both my brother and my sister, and it's been and so I was really like, my heart's not into it. And they encouraged it, but not in like a pushy way. Just if you have a good day and you feel like doing it, and just I guess the style of doing it, and quite frankly the reception of the public, even on a bad day, it's nice to see some of the comments, and so and that people enjoy it, so it kind of keeps you going. But yeah, this year, because I guess probably 4 or 5 months ago, I'm like, I can't do it anymore. But they're good. They were very good about it.
Yeah,
so
good understanding, and everyone. Well, my condolences on your losses. I really had no idea, and thanks for sharing that with everybody on the podcast today. And I appreciate everything you've done and all the stories that you've told. But the one thing that we started with, we need to come back to before the very end. Do you remember what it was? It was the hats that you're working on.
The hat.
Yeah, and it's not the one you're wearing.
You want to see the hat?
Yeah, I got to see the hat.
So,
and is this something you do for parties, or was this just for you?
Well, I'll just show you. There's the top of it. Well, what it is. So another part of my life is grandson was born.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So when grandson got born, I decided I want to be the favorite. So what better way? I mean, I remember as a kid being at the ground round, and that little balloon guy would come and make you a dog. So I picked that up, and it's, hey, look, if I can do it, anybody can do it, So I made some the other day. These hats were a cross between a hat and a flower. So I watched 2 videos and decided to put them together. And so I made some, I don't know, I guess probably a week or 2 ago. And Ian, who owns the restaurant, liked them. So I'm making 8 of them. So tomorrow they're all going to be wearing balloon hats.
Oh, that's great. And that's at Dutchie's?
Yeah, over at Dutchie's, yeah.
All right. So look, I never expected this episode of the podcast to have, that in it. Balloon hats. But it's been great to talk to you. It's been fascinating, and we'll post the links up to in the comments to on the YouTube page, in the comments to all of the social media, whether it's for the city of Portland or yours, or for the farm, or for the restaurant too, for that matter, so they can follow. People can follow and see what's going on, keep up, because it's your reports that you film are everything that I love about Maine, all in 60 seconds. It's great. The Tater Report is the thing that you're looking for, and Tater Nader on the Maine People Podcast. I appreciate so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John.
The Maine People Podcast, available everywhere. Click subscribe so you never miss an episode.